Good evening. We're learning daily Tanya. Today is the 28th day of Menachem Av, and we'll be learning Epistle 8 in Igeres Hakodesh. If you follow us on the Chayenu booklet, it's on page 66. Page 66 in the Chayenu, if you can follow us there. In today's lesson, giving tzedakah is analogous to seeding, planting seeds. For just as with a seed, what is produced by the seed far exceeds the seed, both in quality and quantity, so too with tzedakah. Meaning that the best investment, the best return on your money is tzedakah. Just like a seed that you put in the ground and you can have a whole plant of tomatoes or a whole tree of apples growing, which is far exceeding the amount that you just planted, just a seed. Similarly with tzedakah, the response from above is so much greater than what you invested. At any rate, it is clear from the above that vegetative growth entails producing something far superior to that which was sown in the ground. Reverting to the analog, the Alter Rebbe will now explain how men's tzedakah and kindness affect a divine manifestation that utterly transcends men's service. This results in his receiving as a reward for his actions not only a share in the world to come, a corresponding measure, albeit quantitatively superior for both this world and the world to come. This world and the world to come are categorized as worlds, but also qualitatively superior revelation of tshuva ilah, which is the supernal level of tshuva that transcends by far any state that could be called a world. Meaning that through tzedakah we can reach levels that are not even called world, that are above this world. So now, precisely like this, metaphorically speaking, every act of charity the Jews perform ascends, goes on high, like an elevation of the feminine water in Kabbalistic terminology, Mai Nukvin, feminine waters, to the root of their souls above, which is referred to as Knesset Yisrael, the assembly of the Jewish people, the congregation of Israel. Number one, because it is the source of Jewish souls, and number two, because within it congregate the lights and revelation of the emotive attributes, the midos, that derive from Israel, the Leila, from the supernal Israel. So this is a terminology from Zohar, from the Holy Zohar, and in the terminology of the Zohar, the source of Jewish souls is known as Ima Tata, the low mother, the low-level mother. Bina, which by contrast is termed Ima Elah, the higher-level mother, while Malchus is referred to the lower-level mother. So we have Bina, which is right next to Chochmah, Bina, wisdom, understanding, and then we have knowledge. So Bina is called the supernal mother, and Malchus, the lowest level, is called Ima Tata, the lower mother. So Ima Elah, Ima Tata, supernal and lower mother. Shechina b'lashon Gemara, and the phraseology of the Talmud, which we used many times, Shechina, which is divine presence. The source of the souls of Israel is known as the Shechina. It is called Shechina because it rests, is shochen, resting, descends and is present in the lowly world, which comprises and is utterly united with all the attributes of the Holy One, blessed be He, the first of which is the attribute of Chesed. First attribute is Chesed. Now, through this elevation, the actual Chesed of God is aroused, so that a great and intense revelation of His light descends into this lowly world, where it lights up the souls of Israel, at least during the time of prayer, even if not permanently. For though His greatness is unfathomable, Hashem's Gedula, Hashem's greatness, to the extent that all are esteemed as naught before Him, and even so, where you find Hashem's greatness, there you find His humility. Hence the very greatness and chesed of God, the kindness of God, always find expression in his humility, in his ability to descend and reveal himself to the nethermost levels. Like water which descends from above to below, God's kindness may thus be likened to water in its ability to manifest itself within a Jew's soul in this lowly world. This is implied in the verse, Zorach b'choshech oir le'yeshorim, Chanun v'rachum v'tzadik, which is a pasuk in Psalms 112:4. He's shown in his darkness as a light unto the upright. He that is gracious and merciful and tzaddik and righteous. By being gracious and merciful and tzaddik, fond of tzedakot, tzaddik and tzedek, tzedakot, or charity, righteousness, by performing acts of tzedakah with kindness and love, man causes the light of God to shine into his soul, which is vested in his body, which stands in darkness. Since it is, as the Zohar calls it, hide of the snake. The state when darkness is converted to light is referred to as deliverance. This then is the meaning of the above quoted phrase, and causes deliverance to sprout forth. For this salvation sprouts from the charity that is sown in the supernal land, the desired land, which is the Shekhinah, and Knesset Yisrael, so called because it vests itself in the lower worlds to animate them. As it is written, your sovereignty is the sovereignty of all worlds. This applies most particularly when one sows in the netherland, which is the charity, giving charity, which truly corresponds to it. The Holy Land below is truly located opposite the Holy Land in the heaven. For when such charity is given, the seed of tzedakah is immediately absorbed in the supernal land, without any obstacle and hindrance whatsoever. Meaning there is no partition, nothing stops it from going on high, because there is nothing whatsoever that intervenes and intercepts between the land of life, between the supernal land of life, which is the source of the Jewish souls, and the land of life below, the physical Holy Land. For it is the gate of heaven, referring to the location of the Holy Temple in the Holy Land. This is not so, however, outside the Holy Land, where various factors may hinder the implementation of tzedakah in the land of life. This will suffice for the discerning. So the takeaway from today's essay, Epistle 8, Igeres Hakodesh, the science of your importance. The science of your importance. Your soul is rooted in the spiritual source, known as the congregation of Israel. The source is interconnected with the attribute of God. Your action exerts influence.